Hey guys, it's Lucas Gaylord, and today we have a replay of a ranked match from Format Library. And so I'm playing versus Ninjetty, and we're playing for the first place because if he wins, he takes the first place, and if I win, I keep my first place. So let's see what happens. So I win the rock, paper, scissors, and I decide to go first because I'm playing unions and I don't want my union hanger play to be interrupted. So we start off by me activating hanger, and I make the classic play, which is summon, add Y, summon Y, and then equip C. And so then I set a union scramble and I end my turn. So Ninjetty also gets the union hanger, and I have no interruptions, so I have to let him summon. And he uses Book of Moon, and in my opinion that was a very premature Book of Moon, because if he wants to attack over, he should have used Book of Moon in the battle step to avoid Sphere Kuribo. But it is what it is. The play still worked for him. Okay, so the actual play was to summon YZ, so that's why he used it early. So he uses YZ, and now I'm open for a direct attack. So because he didn't use the skill, I lose life points for this attack, and because of this, I know that he set a union scramble, because that's the only if he didn't have union scramble, then he would have kept Y equipped with Z on the field, but because he fused, I predict that he had a union scramble face down, because it's what makes the most sense. So yeah, I summon X, and I use my skill to go for XYZ Dragon Cannon. Now, how the mirror works in the XYZ matchup is that the player who first summon XYZ is probably going to lose, because he can respawn with another XYZ, and then I respawn with my XYZ, and then he respawn with his XYZ, and then I don't have another XYZ to come back with. So I use the effect, I use the open game state that the skill gives me. I discard, but I destroy hanger. Why hanger? Because I'm very, very confident that his face down is a union scramble. So if I destroy union scramble, he's going to chain it, and I can already destroy YZ by battle. So probably the best play was to destroy union hanger so he doesn't equip another Z. So yeah. So I set my Book of Moon, and now I attack. He takes no life points, but he has a union scramble. So he summons his monsters, and now he has access to XYZ, plus he can banish scramble for an extra fodder. So he uses offerings, and I don't like the situation I'm in because I didn't want to use Book of Moon on XYZ, but it gives me no other choice. So I use Book of Moon, I leave it like that. I'm very confident because I still have Union Scramble. So he goes for YZ, and very interesting because he plays it on defense mode. So I don't know why he did that, but it probably was a good decision. Probably not. Who knows? But yeah, he. Okay, it's because I don't lose any life points. No, because he hasn't used the skill. So very interesting play here. So he goes very defensive, and I activate Union Scramble on the end phase. And at this point, I forgot to use Union Hanger to equip another Z to Y. But because this is a ranked match, I can't go back on my mistake. So yeah. But I top deck into my main deck Obelisk. So I tribute 3 and I summon Obelisk. And then that's game. So game 1 is won by a main deck Obelisk. So let's see what happens. So he goes first now, and more reason to go first because of the side deck, there's more chances for me to interrupt the Union Hanger. So maybe he wants to go first. So he doesn't open with Union Hanger though. So he just has X. And I do open with Union Hanger. But he had Cosmic Cyclone, so he's able to stop my play. But I still have my X-Headed Cannon, and so I just go for the crash play, hoping that I draw into another XYZ piece later on. So he summons Z, and he starts attacking, and I'm fine for now because I'm confident that I will draw better cards, so it's not a big threat right now. And I do draw into X-Headed Cannon, so I summon X-Headed Cannon, and now I do have the strongest board presence. But he has access to fusion, but I still have a lost win. So right now I'm thinking that I have all the advantage. So he uses the skill, special summons a XC. He uses the effect, but I have lost win, so I'm going to target. And right now I'm very happy because I have all the advantage. But he uses Union Scramble, and now he can get over my X-Headed Cannon. But he doesn't. He summons Obelisk, and now I'm in a huge threat because the only way I can win this game is if I summon another Obelisk and I crash. So I was thinking that I was ahead all this time, but no, he had Obelisk. So he hits me. I thought I lose life points, but I forgot that the skill makes me lose no damage, and the only thing I draw is a Dust Tornado, and none of these cards are going to help me right now, so unfortunately that's going to be game. So yeah, game 2 goes to another Obelisk. And now let's see game 3. So I get a really good start with Union Hanger. I have 2 Union Hangers, so that's going to be great. So I search for Y, equip Z, and then I'm just going to end my turn. Let's see what he does. He also has Union Hanger, and he gets to summon Y equipped to Z. So right now we're even. He attempts to crash, so our equips die. But I still have an X in my hand, so I'm not too worried. So now I summon X-Headed Cannon. I set my Dust Tornado in case I need it later, and then I start hitting him. So right now I'm thinking I'm very ahead. But he uses Cosmic Cycle. And there goes my Dust Tornado. He uses the skill. He's going for YZ. And that's going to be the strongest board presence. Oh, and now he uses Union Scramble. So if he has Obelisk, I'm going to be in deep trouble. But Union Hanger alone is going to give him some advantage, because now he's going to equip, and now that's going to be a very threatening position for me. So he destroys my board completely, and right now I don't know what to do. So I have access to XYZ. So I summon XYZ, of course. He has no set card, so I'm not afraid of Lost Wind. I activated another Union Hanger, and then I got a Y, so I could summon and then equip the other Z. And I use XYZ's effect to discard Foolish Burial, so I can start destroying his board. I know that it's going to be really difficult for me, but let's see what happens now. Because he has access to XYZ for sure. So he summons X and makes a fusion. Destroys my XYZ. Gets another Father. And instead of discarding, he just summons an attack. And here's a little bit tricky, because what I assumed was that he would attack with both and that I won't lose damage. But he explains to me that that's not the case, because he didn't use the skill, he fused from the field. So I take all the damage, assuming that he attacked into Y equipped, then the equipped dies, and then he attacks into Y alone. So he explains to me the math, and then he finishes his turn. Now I draw into Lost Wind, and that's going to be really good for me, unless he has Book of Moon, of course. But yeah, so he uses the effect, and I have to negate with Lost Wind. So let's see what he does now. He attacks with X, and for some reason I use Union Scramble at this point. And I should have put Y into defense mode. Then I realized it, but then Ninjetty said like, hey, this is ranked, stop doing that shit. So yeah, he attacks, I lose my life points. I draw into another Union Hanger, which at this point I really don't appreciate. But yeah, summon XYZ. I use the effect, destroy X, and then I recycle, so I can destroy again, and this time I destroy the back row. But it was another Union Scramble, and because he had access to the second Union Scramble before I had access to my second Union Scramble, right now I think that I'm falling behind. But still, it's not so bad, because it's still, I can still do, I can still come back from this. So I crash my Z's. I don't want him to have any board presence. And then I attack into Y, because XYZ Dragon Cannon right now is harmless. until he draws a Book of Moon. So I made that risk. So he fuses, and he's going to go for another XYZ. And then I use the effect of Lost Wind from the graveyard, but I don't have any other card. So he uses XYZ to destroy and banish my Lost Wind, and then uses the effect again to destroy my XYZ. But since I don't lose any life points, right now I'm still safe. And the only thing I draw is a Lost Wind. So I go into fusion mode because I have Lost Wind and he discarded one Book of Moon. So right now this card could be threatening because I have Lost Wind to cut the attack in half and negate the effect. So I just summon that to protect myself and then end my turn. He uses the effect, wasting his third Union Scramble. So I'm happy about that because I used Lost Wind. So the only play he has is to end his turn. And I draw into another Union Scramble. So right now I'm very happy because I can turn this game around in my favor. So he uses Scramble from the graveyard, recycles X, goes into fusion, summons my same monster. So same attack. So I use Lost Wind from the graveyard. I put a counter so that we remember. He uses the effect, and interesting because he doesn't try to destroy this right away. He tries to destroy my other face down, which was Union Scramble. So that was a really smart move because if this card was dead, my XC, then I would have summoned 3 monsters with Union Scramble. But he was smart enough to destroy it, and still it doesn't matter which order he does that because he still destroyed my other Lost Wind. And interesting because he used up his Lost Wind, so he can use the graveyard effect but not the field effect right now. So yeah, he attacks into X because he doesn't want to crash, but he also doesn't want me to have that strong of a monster. And I have Book of Moon, and now I wonder what my play is going to be because I can do more things right now. So let's see what I do actually. So this is a lot of thinking for me. So yeah, I go into XY, and I think the reason I'm going to do that is because I plan to crash and then save my Book of Moon. But that's going to give him a Lost Wind. So I crash, and then I just pass. He only sets. I draw into X-headed Cannon, and then I equip. I don't know why I did equip. Maybe I plan to summon another monster, so I did that to free up space. Maybe. And then I attempt to do a second normal summon. Thankfully Ninjetty is more awake than I am. I promise you I'm not a cheater. But yeah, that was a really bad move. So I hope it doesn't backfire, honestly. So he uses the XYZ effect to destroy my face down, and then he uses Book of Moon in order to reset. And then I chained my Book of Moon because he uses Book of Moon on his XYZ, so that it's not affected any longer by Lost Wind. But because I know that he has a Lost Wind and that this fusion is vulnerable to Lost Wind, I decide to put it face down just to be safe. So he flips XYZ, uses the skill again, and then summons his XY. So right now I'm going to lose a lot of monsters right now. So yeah, he attacks, I'll lose the equip, and then he attacks again. Not attacking into my fusion because he does have Lost Wind. And then I draw another Union Scramble, and at this point I'm hoping that I draw Obelisk because that's the only card that's going to save me. And if you haven't noticed, I have 3 cards in my deck and he has 4 cards in his deck, and none of us have drawn into Obelisk. So I'm doing some major thinking. Okay, so this was a very risky play because if he destroys my face down Union Scramble, it's going to be wasted. But because he has the potential to win this turn, I'm thinking that he might use the XYZ effect to destroy one of the monsters and not to destroy my face down. So I just need to activate Scramble and then summon Obelisk, and then I can win this game. So let's see. So he tributes 3, and that means that he's going to summon Obelisk. And so he drew Obelisk before me, and now I'm in a very, very dangerous position. So he just starts beating me over, and then all I need to draw is Obelisk so I can freaking crash. So let's see what I draw. Book of Moon. Alright, so 2 cards in my deck. One of them is Obelisk, and I need to draw into that Obelisk in order to crash and then attack for game. So he attacks, and now I can use Union Scramble, but I draw into Cyclone. So nothing else I can do. He attacks directly, and I have no other choice but to activate Scramble, which of course ruins my normal summon to Obelisk because I'm going to have only 2 monsters, sorry. So the only way I can get a 3rd monster is by using the skill. So he attacks into any monster, it doesn't really matter. I use Cyclone to banish his back row, and so now I draw Obelisk. My freaking last card was Obelisk, and now I'm very screwed because I can't normal summon unless I use my skill, which I do. So I use my skill, summon my Obelisk, and then surrender. Because if I drew Obelisk 1 turn earlier, I could have banished Union Scramble, recycled any XYZ piece, and then just attacked for game. So crash Obelisk and then attack for game. But the problem was that I drew Obelisk too late. So yeah. So just like that, Ninjetty wins, and just like that, he takes 1st place in rank. So congratulations. We know that Ninjetty is one of the best players of the format, and is very well known for being a Union player. And I know he has inspired a lot of players, including myself. And so, very good game. Congrats to him. I know he worked very hard to reach the top. I remember when Ninjetty used to play ranked with 1000 Eye Spell, and he used to lose a lot, but then he grabbed better decks, and then he started climbing, and then I gave him a chance, like, hey, play me. If you beat me, you'll probably get top 1 because you're already top 2, so beat me. And then if I win, then I'm going to be even higher ranked, even though it's still first place. But yeah, very interesting game. 4 obelisks summon in 1 match. And so, what's the format coming to? Right now we're seeing more XYZ players that were inspired by many XYZ players like Shrink, Ninjetty, Danik, Ryan, myself, West, Beast. So all of us have proven that XYZ is a really good deck, and then Obelisk is like the new hot spice deck, because summon Obelisk and that's going to almost guarantee your win, like you saw. So this was a match where Obelisk decided the outcome on all 3 games, and I've seen Obelisk played a lot now, so very interesting. So it feels like it's going to be an almost Battle of the Gods format when you go into XYZ, because a lot of players, including myself, are starting to think that XYZ might be the best deck right now. And yeah, so if XYZ is probably the best deck, then you probably should run Obelisk, because you're going to play into a lot of mirror matches. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.